So one way to do this might be, you match this A, this G, this A, this T, this A, this C, this A. Okay, so there I found an alignment, and I want to make these four disappear, and I want to make these two disappear. So the alignment, you want to find a way to sort of match these things up, where inserting a character costs you 1, deleting a character costs you 1, changing a character costs you 1. Actually, it gets more complicated. In what HS? What's HS? Well, you did this in high school. Where did you go to high school? Okay, is this the best alignment? Maybe not. I mean, you could also think you could do, you might think, well, what if I do GATA? C is a mismatch, TCA. Okay, so now I have one mismatch, and I have one deletion, I have one insertion, and then I have a deletion here and a deletion here. Okay, so that's costs me, is this right? This costs me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ha! Better, maybe, if I've done this correctly. Okay? So, biologists, geneticists are really interested in this because it's very interesting how well two pieces of DNA line up. I mean, you can make flies with extra wings and stuff like that. I don't know, I'm not a biologist. But so for us, this is a problem. How do you work out the optimal alignment, the best possible alignment, which has, I have to start the timer again. Reset, start. Which has the alignment that has the minimum number of insertions, deletions, and substitutions. And we do this with something called edit distance. Now, actually, it's more complicated than just edit distance, because it turns out like A and T bind, and C and G bind, so it's easier for a C to turn into a G, or a G to turn into a C, than for an A to turn into a G, or something like that. Like, I can never remember how these things go. But so what we want to do is, given Agatha and Katka, we want to figure out what is the minimum number of insertions, deletions, and substitutions that will turn Gata cat into Agatha Katka. Okay, well, so this is easy to remember because Gata with 2 T's is cat in Italian, Gata with 1 T is cat in Spanish, and then cat is cat. And then Agatha is a Polish name, Agatha, but it doesn't have a T when it's in Polish, so it actually looks like DNA. And then Katka is the short form for Catherine, well, Katarzyna, in Czech and Slovak, except there it's spelled with a K, but K is not a DNA character either. So this is how we remember this. Okay, so how would you do that? Well, Now we're going to try to figure out how to do this alignment. Now, we're going to do this sort of recursively, but not recursively because we want to do it faster. We want to do it with dynamic programming. I need a name for a matrix. Let's say M, I, so S1 to M equals, I guess I can't. T1 to N, so in this case, M is like 10, is gata cat. And we want Mij to be the cost, to be the minimum cost of turning S1 to I into T1 to J. So, for example, as M5 M5 3 is the minimum cost of turning Agatha into Gat. Okay? Do people follow? So how can we turn Agatha into Gat? Well, for example, we can delete the A at the beginning and the A at the end. Okay? But we want to do this in some nice algorithmic way. So what we're going to look at is so we're just going to look at the last character. Okay? So we're going to imagine that we have some stuff. So this is going to be S1 to I minus 1. And this is going to be T. Can you read this? Is there anybody there? Okay. T1 to J minus 1. Okay? And then you have Si, and you have Tj. And imagine that we've already worked out, we know M I prime, J prime. Wow. Okay, so in particular, we know M I minus 1, J minus 1, M I minus 1, J, M I, J minus 1. Okay, so what are our options? Well, if this is an A, and this is an A, then what could we do? Well, we could, remember we're trying to do this alignment thingy. So we could say this is going to align with this. Okay? In that case, what is Mij? Well, it's Mi minus 1, J minus 1. So I'm going to erase this part, okay? Because it's not really helping. And we don't have a lot of time. Okay, so if these two are equal, then, and we decide to match them like that, then the cost is Mi minus 1, J minus 1, right? Because then it's the cost of working out the alignment here between these two parts. And this is free because we don't have to change anything. Then, or it could be that even though these two are the same, we decide to align this to something earlier. And then we have this alignment. So in that case, what is the cost of doing this? If we decide to align this to something else, well, we can't align this to this because this only aligns to one thing. The alignment is bijective. So in that case, it's going to be the cost of aligning this to this plus 1 because we're adding the A. Okay? So then we can do I minus 1, but you're aligning S1 to I minus 1 to T1 to Tj. So there, it's this plus 1. Or you could decide that this is going to align to something earlier, and this doesn't align to anything in this, not in the alignment of the whole strings, only in the alignments of these two prefixes. So if we did that, what are we going to get? Well, it's going to be Mi, because we're aligning S1 to I, to T1 to J minus 1, J minus 1, and then we have a 1 because we have to insert this A, right? But that's only in the case when SI and TJ are the same. If they are not the same, if this is a T, then we don't have the option of aligning these two for free. Then it's going to be S, it's the cost of aligning S, but if we decide to align them, it's going to be the cost of aligning this to the cost of aligning S1 to I minus 1, so the cost of T1 to J minus 1, plus the 1 for turning A into T, or I forget which way we're going, turning T into A or A into T. Okay? So it's actually, how do I get the green marker cap on the black marker? It's actually going to be plus 1 if SI not equal to TJ. Doesn't this look familiar? Have we seen this somewhere before? I think we have, like 15 minutes ago. Okay? We had a different name. If I erase this, if it's not called M anymore, if this is, my red is hiding under the laptop. Okay, there we go. Okay, if we call this A, This is exactly the same recurrence for the matrix path game. Have we? Yes, we have. Come on. I minus 1, except this was called a B, and B was if the arrow is red, then B is 0. If the arrow is black, then B is 1. But otherwise, it's the same recurrence. Oh, okay, sorry. It's hard to tell. Like, if we were in a class, I could see your face. But, okay, so what is this matrix? Somebody asked, are the red arrows random? No, not exactly. If we put in here G-A, T-T-A, G-A-T-A, C-A-T, and we put in here A-G-A-T-A-C, oh right, it's C-A-T-C-A. The cost of aligning the empty string with the empty string is 0. The cost of aligning G with the empty string is 1. The cost of aligning GA with the empty string is 2. GAT with the empty string is 3. The cost of aligning A and G is 1. The cost of aligning GA and A is 1. Okay, where are the red arrows? The red arrows are exactly when this is an A and this is an A, then you can get from here to here for free. When this is an A, this is an A, you can get from here to here for free. G, this is a G, this is a G, there's another G here, so this arrow is red. Okay? Working out the minimum cost to get through the matrix is exactly the same as working out the edit distance between gata gata cat and agata katka. Okay? So, how do we do it? We do it with the program that I just erased. If you want to do it in, you can do it in quadratic time. You can do it in linear space. If you just want the cost, you can do it. If you use banded dynamic programming, you can do it faster. If you know that the edit distance is small. And so why was I talking about we never do it in quadratic time? Because you never really try to align two DNA sequences which don't have any similarity. That's kind of pointless. Usually you're aligning like human DNA and human DNA, or human DNA with other mammalian DNA, and the edit distance is actually really small. The edit distance between two human genomes is like less than 1%. So for that reason, you're not doing it in quadratic time because you're not interested in the stuff off down in the corners, down in the bottom left or the top right corner. Right? So banded dynamic programming, now there are actually even faster ways that we're not going to see in this course. So actually, when you thought, this is when I said I'm doing the thing like the Huffman, remember with Huffman, that I had you do that merging the list stuff, and then it turned out that you'd actually rediscovered Huffman's algorithm. Well, now doing the matrix path game, you've actually worked out the algorithm for doing edit distance. I just find it much easier to remember it like this. Now, of course, if you're doing this, you don't have to draw little arrows, because it's not if the arrow is red or the arrow is black, it's if the two characters are equal or not. Okay. So, I probably, on an assignment, will make you, it's not hard to code, remember? It was just 2 nested for loops. But I'll probably make you implement edit distance, probably just in quadratic time. Okay, so we're now caught up because I know everyone was freaking out, thinking, I was freaking out because how far, we have like 8 minutes. Oh, okay, so this thing thinks we have 3 minutes. Okay, so that's edit distance. So, okay, to get through the last things, I'm going to leave you thinking about edit distance by yourself and why working out the alignment is the same as working out the path through the matrix. Are the notes coming out soon? Yeah, I hope so. Everything is, we even have FFT now. But I didn't want to publish the notes because that sort of ruins the surprise. So, now there is one thing I wanted to mention, which is global versus local alignment, in case somebody does do the bioinformatics algorithm stuff. This is if you want to align all of gata gata cat to all of agata katka to all of gata gata cat. What if you have, remember I said you have like a little snippet of DNA and you want to find out where it most closely matches? Then you don't want to do a matrix like this because the snippet is very short. So the cost to get from the top left to the bottom right is going to be huge because the difference in length. You'd be working out how to turn this tiny little snippet into this enormous piece of DNA, this whole genome, and so that would require a lot of insertions. Instead, to do so this is called a global alignment. It's like everything against everything. If you want to find out, okay, find me the place where this, if I just want to find out where Agatha, yeah, let's say, if I just want to find out where Agatha matches most closely, then I don't want to think of this as 5 because I'm allowed to like slide my little fragment of DNA along for free, right? It's like I'm skipping a prefix of gata gata cat. So that would be like saying, okay, in the top row, I'm allowed to move left for free. So these now, in the top row, the arrows are like blue. Or, well actually the arrows are red. Yeah, because I have free arrows. So in the top row, the arrows are red. So this allows you to do something called a local alignment. And I can't believe it, but I actually put that on the final 2 years ago. Like I just taught global alignment and then I made the class derive local alignment on the final. But that was my first year here, I think. And then I realized that was not a good idea. So I'm not going to do that again. I'm actually teaching you how to do local alignment now. Because yeah, that final, the average was depressing. So yeah, don't worry. I won't do that. Now you've actually seen it. The last thing, we have like 15 seconds, we have like 4 minutes, but actually maybe we can even end early today. Wow, I got through edit distance and ended early. If I finish this. Okay, the last problem I want to consider is something called longest common subsequence. Okay, we're going to ignore that. Okay, so longest common subsequence is sort of, it's a lot like edit distance, but it's, so what is the longest common subsequence of Agata Katka and Gata Gata Cat? Well, it's, okay, so what you're looking for is, so you could have like this, and this, and this, and this, right? Because this, wait, no, you don't have that. Okay. So for example, here's a subsequence that is in common. GATA ATCA is common to both of these strings. Gata cat. Yes, gata cat is probably also common. I don't know which one is longer. Okay, it doesn't, and it's a subsequence. It doesn't have to be a substring. Longest common substring would be easier. Yes, a subsequence, the characters don't have to be consecutive in the original string. So, I have 2 minutes. I'm going to finish right on time. So, how do you work out longest common subsequence? Well, it's a lot like edit distance, right? Because if you're not allowed to do substitutions in edit distance, which would be like you're not allowed to take diagonal black lines, then the characters you have to insert and delete, if you ignore the characters you insert and delete, what's left is a longest common subsequence, because they're the characters that you don't change. So it feels very similar, and it is very similar to the algorithm, because what would I change? Well, instead of saying, okay, black arrows cost 1 and red arrows are free, somebody actually asked about this earlier. It would be like if I said, black arrows, you get nothing, and red arrows, I pay you $1. This is why we're not going to actually do this. So then the question is, how do you go from here to here and make the most money? If you get a profit of 1 when you cross a red arrow, this is like you're inserting and deleting stuff to get to a red arrow, and then the red arrow is something that's in common between the two strings. So, for example, my gata cat would be, I'm out of time, would be like saying, okay, 1, this was an A. Oh no, it's this way. It would be like G, A, T. Okay, so you can see it's this path, and I think I'm going here and then down there. Okay, so I'm hitting as many of the red arrows as I can. So it's basically like you change the recurrence a little bit, but the ideas are the same. Okay, so I'm out of time. So that's longest increasing subsequence comes later. This is longest common subsequence, very similar to edit distance, both dynamic programming, similar ideas. Great, good. Any questions? Yes. Okay, what are they? Anybody else can go because we're over time now, 1 minute. Thank you too. Okay, there was a question. Will the final be like, no, because I think I'm not allowed, I'm gonna see, but I think the faculty probably, now that like life is getting back to normal, they don't want us, like I need to have a final that's actually like a normal final, I think. So no, probably not. It was, did I? Yeah, I think the final was like the midterm last year, but no, I think maybe I'm gonna have a normal final. Yeah, at the moment, so actually the exam schedule is out. I'm not sure if it's out officially or if just a tentative exam schedule is out. I think I can check. Is it not posted any? It's officially out. We're on like August 5th, maybe? Don't quote me on that. I would have to check. But the times aren't out. Maybe that's flexible. I mean, maybe I could still get it changed. Depends. Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's not actually too bad. I mean, that's a bit rough if you're on the West Coast. But that's actually tolerable. If you're on the other side of the Pacific, that's like, so if you're in Europe, that's fine. If you're here, that's okay. If you're in California, life is